Hey guys, Mark here, and today I'll be talking about my favorite laptop to use this year, the Asus Zenbook UX430UA. Let's jump in. This iteration of the Zenbook features a brushed aluminum gray body that feels both premium and looks great at the same time. While I do love the design and feel of it, it is prone to fingerprinting, so keep that in mind. I also feel like the lid is especially easy to scratch, although I haven't done so to mine yet. The 14-inch screen has slim bezels on the top and sides and is finished off with a gleaming Asus logo in the center. The build quality is solid all around with minimal flex anywhere on the laptop, including the keyboard. Because the laptop is made out of a solid aluminum all the way around, it's very light, coming in at a little more than 2 pounds. In terms of design, I can already tell that it would be a great laptop for students. Lightweight, good looking, and it has enough connectivity to support most needs. On the left side of the laptop, we have the DC in for charging, a USB 3.0 port, micro HDMI, headphone microphone combo jack, and a first generation USB-C port. Unfortunately, the USB Type-C port doesn't support charging, and it isn't Thunderbolt 3, meaning you can't plug in an external GPU to this laptop for some gaming power. The included power supply does actually charge the laptop relatively quickly though, so I give it a pass. On the right side of the Zenbook, there's a USB 2.0 port, an SD card slot, and a couple of LED indicators. Overall, not bad at all in terms of I/O. Underneath the laptop, you'll find 2 downward-firing Harman Kardon speakers. Once placed on a desk, these speakers actually do sound quite nice. They're definitely loud enough for personal use, and they could fill a small room too if you really want to listen to some music. Have a listen for yourself. Next we come to the display. This is my favorite part of this Zenbook. It's a 14-inch 1920 by 1080 display with thin bezels and excellent color reproduction. The panel covers 128% of the Adobe sRGB spectrum, and the colors and sharpness are superb. This is sort of to be expected since the display is an IPS panel. Of course, this also means great viewing angles from the top, sides, and bottom. The backlight seems to be fairly even across the panel with minimal bleed. Movies look great on this panel, and if I'm traveling, it's my favorite device for watching them. Actually, this is one of my favorite travel devices, period. I have another video dedicated to other tech gadgets I love to take with me while I'm traveling, so click the card above to have a look at those if you're interested. The display does have a matte finish, but it doesn't seem to be bright enough to take outside on a sunny day. According to a few different websites, the brightness hits just shy of 300 nits. Decent, but still could be brighter. Built into the thin top bezel of the display is a tiny 720p webcam, an indicator light, and a microphone. There's nothing really special to talk about here, but it'll definitely get the job done for voice and video calls. I would have liked to see 1080p, but let's be honest, I'll probably never use this again anyway. The keyboard and touchpad of a laptop are both very important when considering a purchase. Luckily, the UX430UA has a great keyboard and an even better touchpad. The keyboard is a little on the small side with shortened arrow keys and even a short left shift key. However, the keys do have decent travel even though they're a little on the stiff side. As I've said before, the keyboard itself has minimal flex, and all in all it produces a decent typing experience. The keys are backlit and they have 3 different brightness settings to choose from. The backlighting on some of the keys aren't as even as I'd like, but that's just me being picky. The touchpad is pretty much perfect in my eyes. It has accurate tracking, solid left and right clicks, supports gestures like pinch to zoom and 3-finger swiping, and even features a fingerprint reader. The reader is very responsive, and in my case, it rarely even messes up. Finally, we come to the performance of the laptop, which is, in my opinion, the most important part. Design is great and all, but a good-looking laptop that doesn't perform well is just, well, a dud. This iteration of the UX430UA is equipped with an Intel 8th generation i5 processor, the i5-8250U. It's a quad-core CPU with 8 threads that starts out at a low 1.6 GHz and ramps up to 3.4 GHz with turbo. Alongside that, the laptop has 8 GB of DDR4 2400 and a 256 GB NVMe SSD. Though some Zenbooks are equipped with dedicated graphics, this one only has the integrated Intel UHD 620. This leads to poor performance in AAA titles. If you want to play some later games like Civilization 6 or CSGO, you will be able to hit 60 FPS if you sacrifice some graphical options and lower your screen resolution. Clearly, Asus wasn't targeting gamers with this laptop though. It's a far cry from their Republic of Gamers lineup with its sleek and classy aluminum finish on the outside and lack of strong components on the inside. My best guess is that Asus is targeting both students and business professionals with this laptop. After running a Geekbench 4 test, the laptop scores were actually quite surprising. It earned a 3989 in single core and a 13263 in multi-core. This is actually fairly close to my Skylake i7 desktop chip, which earned a 4345 in single core and a 14163 in multi-core. What this indicates is that while the laptop may be a little underpowered in the gaming department, it actually does fairly well in multitasking and even video editing. I was able to edit some 4K footage from my A6300 inside of Premiere Pro without many hiccups at all. Even more impressive is the battery life on this Zenbook. Without doing anything too crazy, the laptop is able to hang on for about 6 or 7 hours. With the Wi-Fi turned off and the screen brightness turned down all the way, I'm sure you could stretch another hour or two out of it at least. Wi-Fi performance was also pretty good. I can move pretty much anywhere inside the house without dropping the signal. I know that's not really a scientific test, but it's certainly good enough for me. The Zenbook also has Bluetooth 4.1 for all of your wireless peripheral needs. Now let's talk a bit about the negative. Performance is decent, battery life is great, design is amazing. What's wrong with it? Well, for me, not really much of anything at all. However, there have been some complaints about Coil Whine with these laptops. I've put this thing through some pretty big hoops over the past month or so, and though the fan can get kind of loud and the laptop will get hot after a couple hours of light gaming or editing, I haven't heard much in the way of Coil Whine. Just be aware that it is a known problem with these Zenbooks, and from what I've heard, it can be fairly annoying. Other than that though, this laptop is fantastic. It's something I carry with me everywhere and it keeps me productive on the go. So that's it for today's video. If you want to check out the laptop further, as always, I'll throw a link to it in the description down below. If you like this video, please consider giving me a like and subscribing to support my channel. Thanks for watching and have a great day.